Good evening, all. Welcome back to the countdown to kick-off in the LFC Daytrippers. Obviously, delighted again tonight to be joined by Conroy. It's a pleasure, Conroy, for you to be back on here. It's surreal, really, isn't it? 2 pre-season friendlies in just over 24 hours, both at Anfield, of course. And I was just thinking there yesterday, even before the game kicked off against Bilbao, it's a little bit like, as well, it's surreal. It's just mad, isn't it, having 2 games in less than a week before the competitive stuff starts. Obviously, we're going with 2 different teams. Some of the lads that were on the bench yesterday and that played a part are again on the bench tonight, because obviously we haven't got the biggest of squads to have 2 different starting 11s and 2 different benches. But what's your thoughts on that? Like, I mean, because we are going into a season where, we got to absorb, we got to keep as much energy and that intensity, especially with those with the heavy metal football, as much as possible. And last season there was a lot of football condensed into a month less, obviously with the pandemic. So what's your thoughts on that, Conroy? Surprised that with the 2 friendlies?
See, to be honest, mate, I think it makes sense. I think the prime example was yesterday after me talking about Andy Robertson. I feel like that was kind of my fault yesterday, but straight away it just shows the luxury of having depth, and it kind of shows that these 2 friendlies are quite good as well, because now Shimikas, it's looking likely he's going to be starting against Norwich, so he probably will need a 90 minutes or 85 minutes, whatever he gets today. So I think it's actually going to be, it's actually fell quite nicely for him, because yes, he had a good game in the last couple, but he knows now that he's probably going to start, and he knows that he's going to have to keep that consistency level up. So it's felt quite fortunate for us in that sense. I don't. He's obviously not as good as Andy Robertson, but it's quite fortunate that Robertson didn't play this game and Shimikas didn't play yesterday, if you know what I mean. So it gives Shimikas that kind of little, that little taster before he goes into the Norwich game. So I actually think it's a bit crazy, as you said before, Daz, to have 1 game after each other, but it's at the same time it's probably quite useful. We talked about Bobby coming back from the Copa as well. Several players like Thiago, Hendo on the bench tonight. So he's just trying to get as much minutes as he can into that squad before we kick off next week. So I understand the logic, and I actually think it's quite smart, to be honest, mate. So I'm looking forward to it. But what's your thoughts in the whole? What's your thoughts on the actual team tonight? Who are you looking forward to watch?
I'm looking forward to Simicast. I think this is his biggest game he's had for so far, because obviously we haven't heard the extent of Robbo's injury. But look, what we're expecting, it's going to be a couple of weeks at least, I'd imagine, and hopefully not. We're due a bit of look on the injury front, and please God, I was only saying yesterday in the previous friendlies that if we can come out of those going into the new season with as many options, as many fit players as possible, then it's the look we've deserved. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth yesterday to see Robbo go off in the way he did, but I'm just hoping and praying that it's not as bad as
It's
some people.
unfortunate though. I thought it's
Yeah.
not one of them. I think that could happen. I know someone said his ankle strap does, but it's one
Yeah.
of them. I think that could happen at any point. He's tried to block the cross. I don't think there's much you can do about that.
No, it's very unfortunate. But going back to Simicast, I think it's a huge game for him. It's the last pre-season friendly. It's the last game at Anfield before we go into the competitive stuff. We've seen a good bit of him in pre-season. He's looked very impressive. I think him and Elia Keita have been the standout for us. They're the most obvious ones. And for Simicast, I mean, he's been a little bit unfortunate. We mentioned yesterday that he never got the run that he deserved, probably. And, you're not going to drop Robbo. But now is his chance, Conroy. On a more positive note, this is a chance for him to come out and prove his worth, show his experience, which we know he is very experienced in coming in. And I think, look, what I've liked about him was he's a fine whip of the ball on that left side. He causes problems. He's very creative and obviously defends really well. And if he can be composed and as compact as Robbo is there, and obviously is good at going forward, then it's a big plus. And I don't think he's going to be a like for Robbo, but I think if it's for the first few games, you're going to have this chop and change. You're going to have injuries. We've seen it last season. And obviously, once it's not anywhere near the extent it was last season, we have to accept that, because that's just part and parcel of it. But I'm looking forward to Simicast. I'm looking forward. Minamino starts again. He's done okay for me. I'm looking forward to seeing a bit about him, what he's about. Hopefully, Thiago can play some part and come on for us. I think Ox as well. I don't know what role he's going to play. Is it going to be Gordon, Jones, and Fabinho in the three in the middle of the park, or will obviously Fabinho be more of a holding midfield, or is Ox going to play up front, which I'd imagine he is, alongside Minamino and Firmino? So I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
it'll be interesting to see. There's a few options. We obviously talk about Ox playing up front. I looked at originally tonight and thought he might be in midfield, but as you say, he's been playing the false nine. He's been trying that position out.
yeah.
We both feel that probably won't work, but It'll be interesting to see how it goes, especially with fans in Anfield. It'll be interesting. It will be. And on that as well, folks, see in the comments just what's your thoughts on the lineup tonight, and smash the like button, please, and subscribe if you've not already, and just let us know your thoughts on the team. I know Kevin Ball here has said, evening all, strong team, excited to see how Cade Gordon gets on tonight. I think that's a very good segment that you've said, Kevin, because me and Darren before it would said on the WhatsApp, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, especially see yesterday, if you watched Owen Beck when he came on, it was very really good to see, but also it's good to see it's okay doing it in an academy in a reserve game, but actually seeing it where like as full as can be stadium when the pressure's on. And I thought he'd done pretty well, to be fair, Beck, yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how Gordon gets on tonight. What's your thoughts on Gordon, and what do you expect we'll see from him tonight?
Well, 16 years of age, he's looked very impressive so far. Obviously, to be in amongst the Liverpool squad, travelling on pre-season, playing in pre-season friendlies, you have to have something about you, especially in this Liverpool team in this era under Jurgen Klopp. So I expect them to go out with no fear, be creative, keep playing with that intensity, come with that energy, that spark. And like we've seen Harvey Elliott in the past playing with no fear, just going at teams, just giving it his all and nothing holding him back. And if Cade Jordan could do that at 16 years of age, he could have a big future. If it's not at Liverpool, like, I'm sure it'll be somewhere at a top club. Early days, obviously, to wax too many lyrics about him, but we can only judge him what we've seen. And so far, he's been more than impressive, hasn't he, for a 16-year-old? So I'm looking forward to it, Conroy. Again, it's someone else coming up, as you said, through the academy. Beck looks really good. I seen a bit of him yesterday when he come on. He's going to have a bright future ahead.
What age is Beck, Darren? Sorry, my mind's I completely forgot age.
He's 17, 18. He might be 17. I'm not 100% sure. If someone in the comments can put in.
Yeah,
I think he might be 17. Something saying 17, but I could be wrong with that one, and it won't be the first to be wrong with age. But Osasuna tonight, Conroy, as well. They've finished only 2 points behind Bilbao last season. They got 11th. Bilbao finished 10th. Osasuna, it's the third consecutive season. So they're trying to be an established La Liga side now that they're in this league. And they have that guy up front. Budimir, he was from Mallorca. He was on loan at Mallorca. At Osasuna from Mallorca. And they've recently just signed him. They've wrapped up the deal for £7 million. He's a forward player for them. Doing bits for them. Look, Osasuna, as I said, it's a privilege for them, a club of the stature that they are, to be in La Liga now for the third year running, and they're going to want to improve and try and obviously be more established and from a mid-table side to start fighting for those European positions. So look, it's not going to be an easy test today. We've seen yesterday's game. I thought it was a dream start. 13 minutes gone, Jota scores, great goal. We're on the front foot. We'd pace, we'd energy, we'd intensity. We were just all over. We were suffocating Bilbao.
Yeah, it felt very like 17. Was it 16, 17? I felt very 16, 17 vibes. When we just go all out attack and
just all out.
I remember Leicester. Was it 4-1 at home? We beat Leicester. And I remember Manny and Sturridge scored. It gave me those type of vibes. Very end to end at stages, but it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, and look. A little bit of last season crept in the game. I'm not going to lie. Look, it's a pre-season, so it's hard to kind of judge it too much. But and what I mean by a bit of last season creeped in was we got that first goal. We were all over them. We were on the front foot, and we didn't get that second goal. And the longer that went on, they crept back into the game. We give a goal away, and we just hadn't got that spark, that creativity second half. And we dropped off. Now, I'm hoping we dropped off to keep some energy and
made quite a few changes as well, guys. Made quite a few changes as well.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of to put any comparison.
But I thought Bilbao were good though, mate. I thought Bilbao, you say that, but see, when we miss chances, they miss chances as well. I know there was a spell where we were completely dominating, but their guy misses an absolute sitter from 4 yards or 8 yards out that in the first half skies it. Naki Williams, he was brilliant actually. He was very good. I thought
we only talked about him before the game. He was
so it's easy. It's easy to have the Liverpool goggles on, but we did have spells where we probably should have scored, but they did have quite a few chances as well. I thought it was a good test yesterday, to be honest. Felt like we started really well, and it did give me a lot of confidence going into the season. And I'll be honest, as that high line, it's not going to change now, but honestly, I hate it. But at the same time, it's effective. I completely understand it, but I still hate it. I hate it sometimes, but it's heart attack material, but it is what it is, and it's been effective.
Osasuna played 6 friendly so far and won all 6, so they're not going to be.
We didn't win a friendly and won the league though, mate. So I wouldn't look too much.
No. But what I mean is they will be competitive tonight. And
Yeah.
Stephen Somerville there puts in a good thing in the chat. Looking forward to another near full Anfield noise. And big up out you. Cheers, Stephen. And yeah, again,
Big up to
look,
yourself, Stephen, mate.
great. I suppose these games are great for fans that don't have access as easily as others to competitive games. So to get tickets for friendly and to bring kids along to Anfield, and that is great. You know what I mean? At any stage, whether it's friendly or not. So I can see the purpose in having them in the back-to-back. As strange as it is, it'd be great for a lot of fans to get there and make that noise and wish the lads obviously the best of luck in going on to the new season, which, you know, it's getting closer and closer, and it's only 5 days now away. So it's very surreal now.
Yeah, no, I know, mate. I just wanted to go to this earlier comment there saying no Phillips or Shaq. So do we think both of them are go? Thanks for that, Delwyn Jones, mate. Thanks for the comment. I'll go first on this one, Daz, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'd be gutted if Phillips went, to be honest. I think Phillips was superb last season. No one expected him to perform like that. At the end of the day, we got Champions League football in Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in that final day, and Phillips was just a colossus. So I just feel like the one thing with Phillips is I feel like seeing certain games, and I know teams don't look at it this way. I know in the comments say I know businesses aren't ran this way, but see the tricky games we have away to Burnley or, you know, the Brightons with the big, you know, obviously play good football, Brighton, but big centre backs. I feel like Phillips is like a kryptonite to that. I mean, we went to Turf Moor with Phillips. I feel like that was the one of the smoothest games I've ever had at Turf Moor, and I feel like he's a weapon for those games. You know, he makes you feel more comfortable defensively. Even though we've got some great centre backs, I'm not saying that. I just would have personally liked to keep Phillips. I don't know if you agree with that, Daz, or you would want to get the money for him while you can. And to Shaq, I think Shaq should go. I think Shaq has done his bit. He's won. He wants to go to a team to play football now. It's not a money thing because he's won, 2 Champions Leagues, multiple trophies. He's not going to go. He probably will get paid roughly the same, but I feel like he just wants to go to a team where he's going to play games now. Because you've seen in the Euros, he's still he's a very good player. So what's your thoughts on Phillips, Daz?
Look, there's 2 different sides to the argument. I understand Liverpool, if they're ever going to get money for Phillips, now is the time they're going to get the most from. I get that. And look, his proposed move to Swansea was great for us. It didn't go through. A scholarship to America, he was meant to go on. That would have
been a nightmare, mate, if he got a scholarship. Because, I mean, it's still a good thing, but you don't become a professional footballer 9 times out of 10. It's usually that's to go into something else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but usually,
totally understand. And he comes in October, debut against West Ham. We win the game 2-1, scrappy game. He gets man of the match, and he was very composed, compact, done everything, stuck to the basics, but was really, really good. And since then, he never looked back. He was man of the match at Brighton. There was a load of games, and going back to that game at Turf Moor, we won 3-0. He scores a goal. Unbelievably defensive. He was just quality. As I said, that composure, that compact, so good in the air, unbelievable. Just headed everything away. It's a bit of a shame to get rid of him, but look, Jurgen Klopp, obviously we trust in. If Matip can stay fit, if Konate can be as good as is expected to be, if Gomez can stay fit and your Verge there, we're probably going to be okay. But it is a bit harsh on him, I feel. Yeah, he's offered so much to us, and with no one else. We have to remember that. You know, it's not as if we didn't really need him, and he came in, was great. We needed him more than ever, and he delivered. And Reece Williams grew in stature with him playing alongside him, and he was very commanding. And I just think he's an unbelievable centre back, very old school, but it's something they always need, especially in those physical games like your Brighton, your Burnley, you know, Southampton, these type of teams where you're going to win. You know it's going to be physical in a battle. He's well able for them, and he gives you that as a fan watching it, that bit more reassuring. So he could go being left out today.
Yeah, defensively for set pieces as well. It's not just like he's clearing balls. I mean, I think I saw 3 or 4 times where it was a ball that actually went past the back line from a set piece, and he was going back the way and heading it out, like, and still getting it a huge distance away. I just think,
He'd done some good stuff coming out that back line. I remember, I think it was Newcastle away where he got the ball in the back and he came out dribbling and was pinging balls forward, and good balls. You know what I mean? They weren't just a kick and hope.
You don't need to be a Beckenbauer. You know, not every centre back needs to be that. You just need to be reasonable. And I think his actual passing improved as the season went on, to be honest. And I feel like he's reasonable, a decent passer. I'm not saying he's great, but he's good enough. But Stephen just added, if we get rid of Nat Phillips this season, it's a mistake to sell someone who will only be getting better. We need depth anyway for cup competitions. I completely agree, mate. But I feel like that maybe tells you a lot tonight, unless anyone knows about an injury or anything like that. I feel like, or a knock, I feel like they'll be looking to sell Phillips if they can get the right amount. So, unfortunately, I think that'll be the case. So what's your thoughts on Shaq then, Dad? I just feel like it's time for him to go as well.
Yeah, he hasn't got it. He hasn't got the run. I think he's deserved more. You've seen him in a lot of games. He either comes on too late or he's just not in the squad. There's been so many question marks around what's the relationship being like with him and Klopp, because I've seen, but it was a bit of a strange one because, you know, he comes out talking about Liverpool are not going to really stop me from leaving, and my wish is going to come true. I'm going to leave. And then a couple of days later, I was on the Liverpool website and I seen he's looking forward to the season and can't wait to. I can't remember the exact words, but basically do bits this season and be a part of the team. So I don't really know what that was all about, but I think he's gone, isn't he? I think the speculation has been around him the last 2 summers, particularly more so last season. I was surprised to see he stayed on beyond last season. There was a couple of players that I thought we could have sold last season. We didn't, but we seem to have done that this summer, like Zagrujic, Wilson. And I think he'll be one to go. Yeah, if he's not getting much time in this pre-season, I don't think he's there's a future here from, like, when you look at some of the younger lads now that's getting ahead of him even on the bench. So there's a part for him to play this season. Of course, if he's not injured, then he has to be in the squad for the 2 games that we've had back to back. So I think that's a big hint and signal that he's going to be moving on.
Yeah, I feel like Shaqiri's an outstanding technical player. Like, he actually is. I think people forget how good he is technically, and I feel like at the Euros he showed that. So I agree, mate. But I feel like this one shouldn't be difficult to get over the line for Shaqiri, to be honest. I feel like he wants to go and get first team football. There's a few teams in Italy who I think would suit and play him in the right position. So I think that one will go through. Just some comments here on Nat. Hugo 555 saying, personally I would keep Nat. I've no problem with the club if they can sell Shaq, Origi and Minamino. Have to reinvest though in at least a striker and midfielder. Absolutely agree, mate. Especially that last point about a striker and midfielder, especially a striker. As Daz knows, I've been saying that for about a year. Yeah. But fair point, mate. I'd kind of agree with that as well. I've not got a problem with Shaq, Origi or Minamino. So good point. But just on back to the game, Daz. We'll do this a wee bit early because I think if the comments can put their score predictions in. So what did you say yesterday? You thought it was going to be 3-1, and 3-1. I went for 1-0, and it was 1-1. It was actually quite a good game, to be fair. I actually thought it was quite a good spectacle to watch. Some of the passing or fast breaks from us was great to see. Big Virgil van Dijk pinging Alonso-esque passes like.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And Harvey Elliott also brilliant. That spark we needed. Yeah. I mean, since we lost Coutinho in that midfield, just in that behind the front three.
But see, I'm confused with this, Taz. This is what's confusing me. Okay, so in the comments, I've seen loads of people tell me Harvey Elliott is a midfielder. He's not a winger, right? Well, his best moment yesterday was when he was on the right wing. So can someone explain to me? Because like, you don't have to necessarily be fast to be a winger, because Coutinho played out in the wing sometimes, or in that wide forward, whatever you want to say. But the shining moment yesterday, I thought he was great in midfield. I'm not disputing that. But I feel like he can play in the right wing as well. He literally done the defender and hit the bar coming in from the right as an inverted winger. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because people keep telling me he can't play in the wing.
He's better on the wing.
I'm not necessarily saying he's better, but he's going to want to play wherever he can get a game if there's a space, if someone's injured. So I feel like he can play in both positions.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. And I don't know whether he'll play as many games as what some of us think, depending on what business we do in this window. But he's going to be around next season, and he's going to play some partners. And I'd like to see him get as many minutes. As I said, he's just turned 18. Wonderful footballer. I thought yesterday he was terrific. Played with no fear. Very creative. And obviously he should have get bagging that goal where he comes in the right. But look, best of luck to the lad. He's in a great place now at the moment. To see he has that spark, he has that confidence, that enthusiasm, that energy. So it's great to see a lad at his age and having that season that he was on loan at Blackburn, where he done really well. You know, it's worked wonders for him, and you can just see he's going to grow in stature. So I'm looking forward. He's
not there yet, though, Daz. This is the thing.
He's a long way to go.
Quick exaggerating constantly. Like Harry Wilson smashed the championship. Yeah. So did, and he's much younger.
A great goal yesterday.
I'm not disputing that, but that was a pre-season friendly yesterday, right? So as much as it's competitive, it's a pre-season friendly. I want him to see if he can play like that in a Premier League game. I think he will eventually. I'm just saying, if he can do that right now to a certain standard, that's when you'll know that he's ready to consistently be involved. I think he will be involved anyway, but you know what I'm saying. Like, Nico Williams is partially involved in a season, but does he want to be a Nico Williams, or is he looking to be like, look at Jones last season, the spaces became available and he was able to really cement a place in that squad and not be looking to get loaned out or sold? So it'll be interesting. I
There's
think he'll
also,
do the latter. I think he will make it.
yeah, hopefully, I do think so too. Harvey Davis as well, the young keeper tonight. He's a local lad, 18 years of age, just signed his first professional contract there. I think it was last month or the month before. So he's on the bench, the keeper. So, you know, I don't know whether he'll get a run out or not tonight, but it's good to see another academy player playing at Anfield tonight, albeit it is a friendly look. And I mean, he's not going to be involved in the first team next season, but it's great
experiences as well. Like, we have to remember, most academy players will not play will get sold on. They might play a few games, but they get sold on. And normally, really, there's some great prospects and stuff, but we could probably put our hands right now in the many academy players that have came in the first team in the last 10 years. I think so for them to get that experience, it's great. It's great for the career. It's great for to kind of kick on from that as well. Just, sorry, Midnight Toker, I'll bring this comment back up one sec, mate, but just because we're on the topic, Ellie, I'll bring that topic up after it. Kevin Ball just said his lack of pace isn't as bad as some make out. I agree, Kevin, I really do. I feel like he's can play in either, and he was absolutely outstanding. So really looking forward to seeing. So what's your score prediction for today, Daz? We kind of went on a wee segment there. What's your score prediction for Osasuna today?
I'll stick it a bit closer than yesterday. I'm going to say 2-1. I think we score more than one goal. I'm hoping I can see it. So I think 2-1 is a safe enough one to go for. Being making mad ones 4-2 and 3-1 and stuff. So I think 2-1's a bit safer, but I'm not going to quite, while it's the last pre-season friendly, I'm not going to give up now predicting some of the higher scores, but 2-1's quite low. So yeah, I'll watch yours, Conroy, for tonight.
Well, in the comments, tell me yours first, and then I'll tell you mine. If some people put theirs in, I'm kind of stuck because I think yesterday was a better team overall in the squad, and we're outstanding. I'm going to say I do think we'll concede tonight, so I'm going to agree with you tonight, mate. I don't usually think we'll concede, but I think it'll be 2-1 tonight, 2-1 Liverpool. But
it'll be interesting as well, I suppose, to see a different reshuffle back four. Well, obviously Trent in there, but Kanate, Matip plays again tonight. Tsimikas. It'd be interesting to see how they go on, because there might be times this season that'll be a back four we'll need to play with. Hopefully not, because hopefully Van Dijk is available as much as possible, and Gomez as well in there, and Robbo can. But we still don't know the extent of Robbo's injury, which is a little bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful that I think it'll just be a couple of weeks, but who knows anymore. After Van Dijk walking off, see when people say, "Oh, he's walking off, would be fine." I don't think that means anything. Van Dijk was out for a
I've walked off myself playing football in many games, and it was
we should know now. Injuries don't work like that. It's not like that's not how it works. Unfortunately, Red Sea Podcast, shout out, mate. How you doing? And that's the guys who are on the folks who are on the. They're on the after show. Check it out. Outstanding
they're on
stuff.
At 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, I liked the one yesterday. One of the panel was in the car. I appreciate the dedication. That's the type of dedication. I just drove back in Scotland. It's peeing down with rain, or it's been very torrential. So I got caught in traffic. So as Daz knows, he's typing up the team, and I'm literally, I've had the last minute set up here. So that's why I'm here.
All good dedication to get the content out.
It's dedication, mate. But I think doing it in the car, fair play. That's some dedication. But let's have a look at some of the scores here. We've got Kay Gordon and Ox to get 2 goals. Big shout, Kev. I like that. Putting it all out in the line. Yeah. I'm not going to give you my goal scorers, mate. I'm not that precise.
No, we might tonight, though. I'll go for the Ox myself to score.
Desmond 2-2. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the whole thing about the friendlies are that it's nothing to do with the results, as we've touched on many times in these. It's about that experiment and getting that run out. And look, something I mentioned going into the game yesterday, I might have jinxed to saying avoiding injuries, and then what happens? You get Robbo injured, a pivotal player to the team. But that's something that you're just going to have to deal with.
It's football, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't think of it. It's football.
Hopefully it's okay though.
Yeah. Trent, sorry, mate, and just that one. No, hopefully as well. I'll go for 2-1 with you, mate, and
we'll agree on this one. Yeah,
we agree on that one. I think they'll score, because even watching last night, I just feel like the defense will be good, but I feel like it's, as you say, it'll be competitive, and I feel like because everyone's going to start playing competitive matches soon, they want to take it as close as they possibly can. Maybe not every 50-50. But I feel like it'll be a good run out, and it'll be a good experience. It'll be interesting. I want to watch Firmino tonight. That's the person I'll be wanting to see, because as we said yesterday, I listened to it back last night. For me, I think we both agreed Jota will be starting against Norwich, and Firmino will be on the bench. but it'll be interesting to see if he's maybe looking tonight to show what he can do, and because he's technically, he'll be the main man tonight, or he'll be the what's the best way to say, leader, if that's the right word, in that front three tonight. So
he's the one leading the troops tonight.
I'll be.
There's another one there. Can Kevin Ball be interesting to see if Gomez plays the same amount as Virgil van Dijk did last night, which was around 70, 60 minutes? Yeah, it's a good shout, because obviously Gomez, who, you know, he's been also recovering from a bad enough injury, so it will be interesting to see. I think he needs a bit of game time as well to get back into it. And with Kanate arriving in, with Matip now fit, you're not hearing as much talk about Gomez, but he's obviously still integral to us going forward. And as what I mentioned yesterday was, he's playing at a higher level than what the likes of Rio and John Terry were when they were his age. So, and he's really good experience. I know, look, he dropped off a little bit last season, then he got injured, but there's no doubt about it. He has the talent to go forward and be one of the best in the game. But look, he's a lot to play for, because he'll be thinking he wants to go into that first team. He wants to play more regularly, which he has done for a long time, you know. And we've won the big honours when he's been there. And I know Kanate has arrived in and that, but I'm sure with Joe, with the enthusiasm he has and the fight he has and that passion, he'll want to give him a run for his money.
I think that's a bigger conversation on the debate between the centre backs, because there's a shouting for Matip as actually probably being the second best centre back quite easily as a performer, but just because of the fitness in his body, he never gets the consistency. But Kevin Ball's also said Taki possibly playing for his future tonight as well, lads. Kevin, great shout, mate. Absolutely agree. I've got to be honest. Not to be pessimistic, but for me, I think Taki would suit another team who possibly plays a different formation. I've said it in the past, maybe a second striker, or maybe something like that, or possibly a cam. But for me, the formation doesn't, because I don't really know his best position. But as you said, mate, he's had a decent pre-season, quite a good pre-season, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays tonight. Can you hear me all right, Daz? Is there echo? Can you hear me okay?
No, I can hear you perfect. Yeah,
that's fine.
Simicast masterclass tonight. He'd be motivated. I expect good link-up play with Taki again 1-0. Yeah, hopefully. And as I said, it's weird.
Good, but not too good. Good, but not too good. Not better than Robert. No, I'm only joking.
But what I mean is that, like, Simicast is mad to think that this is one of his biggest games he's played for Liverpool, because all eyes are going to be on him tonight. Now, everybody knows going to the start of the season, probably for those first 3 games in January, which is the remainder of the month, Norwich, Burnley and Chelsea game, you're going to have Robbo possibly out. Simicast is going to be eyes on him. And I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for Simicast. There was a lot made that when he signed for us, this Greek goddess we signed, he's played unbelievable against Adama Traore, who's so pacey and strong when Olympiacos come up against Wolves in Europa League. And we sign him and we get him ahead of, we're obviously linked with bringing in Jamal Lewis and we get him a bit cheaper, Simicast. And he hasn't played much at all, very, very little for us. So I'm looking forward to him. And I think the positive of this pre-season has been that at left full, it looks like we've someone reliable at full back in Simicast. But it is pre-season, it's early days. I don't want to wax lyrics too much. I get overly excited about it. But I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight. And obviously the spotlight's on him and now he has to deliver, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, mate, I think the thing is as well, I'm not being I know the Scottish bias and stuff, but I do feel constantly Andy Robertson does not get a credit enough of how good he is defensively. Like, it's just a given. People don't go down his side, they don't try it. And we'll see. Yeah, this might show that, because suddenly people are worried if Simicast that good defensively. So I think he'll be fine, to be honest. He's got a great defence around him. And to be honest, I think in the games he's playing, he will be tested, but I think he's got enough in the locker, especially when he played at Olympiacos, to handle that. So I'm not worried. I think the guy will do a good job. I think his delivery is very good, but there's a lot of fullbacks whose delivery is very good. But I think playing, he's had a year to bed in. I think he'll do great, and I do think he'll try to grasp the opportunity. I really do. Football is about competition. I'm obviously going to side with Andy Robertson, but I still feel like he's a great opportunity for the kid. So good luck to him. Just a comment here by Michael Patrick. I think Elliot deserves more game time. I get he's young, but I think he just needs experience to become the finished product. Great one for the future. I agree, mate. I think the Curtis Jones last season's a prime example. A space came up and Jones had to come in, and he's done a great job. I feel like that's Elliot. His loans really helped him, because before that I felt his decision making was not the greatest, and he's still young, so obviously it's not going to be amazing, but I felt it's improved a lot, especially after yesterday. You could tell that Blackburn loans really, really helped him.
And I think Jones starts tonight. I think we haven't heard a lot of Jones now since the season's ended, like through the pre-season and that. But I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think he's someone get better. And again, he's a point to prove going into this season. If there's talk of bringing in around midfielder, he'll feel, well, I need to keep trying to prove myself and prove me worth to go into that Liverpool starting 11 as much as possible. So hopefully, he comes out, he's competitive, and he has that hunger and attitude. And if he has that, then, I think we'll get the best out of him. But look, we all said it last season, no matter what happened last season, one of the big positives was Curtis Jones.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Probably he's looking at now. Obviously, Nat Phillips would be high up there as well, with Fabinho and Jota and Salah obviously scoring over 20 goals again. But I would say, Jones was definitely a positive. Absolutely. I was actually surprised the lack of positivity at the end of the season. There was people kind of brushing off. I thought he'd done really well. It's very difficult to break in a team like that. Just to take back to this comment earlier, because shout out to Midnight Toker. He was saying his thoughts, and each to their own. He was saying he didn't think Phillips isn't good enough. And if we wish to challenge, he was 4 for 5th choice last season. 15 million would be good money, in his opinion. He's slow and can't pass more than 10 metres. I actually think he has improved. I think his passing is reasonable. I feel like we do put too much emphasis on, you don't have to be like a John Stones in the ball. Hear what you're saying, mate, the 15 million thing, that's a fair point.
But and we learn something new every day. I've only actually learned, and it's been on WhatsApp groups, it's going to sound a bit stupid, is that MO. I just thought that was some way of saying, but it's actually, what did you say it was, Conroy?
In my opinion.
Yeah, we've learned something new every day. You come
on
the
I've had bad ones with that, mate. I've had really bad ones with that. It was is it KMT? Is it Kiss My Teeth? I didn't know what that was for honestly about a year. Right. Shout out to Drifty and Coppish. You know what I'm talking about. Did not know what they were saying for about a year. But yeah, fair enough, mate. Each to their own. But for me, I think it's maybe good to have depth this season if we want to. We never challenge in all the cups and all the competitions, but after last season, it might not be the worst decision to hold on to him.
I think last season taught us what's the harm in having 5 centre-backs, because let's be honest, Gomez and Matip Conroy, and no matter what you think of him, like Matip's phenomenal. He misses 10 games or 3 months of football and comes back and man the match. He's just so good. But he's injury prone. Gomez is injury prone. Van Dijk, what's he going to be like coming back from that long-term injury? So I don't feel there's a rush in selling Nat Phillips, really. I think having 5 centre-backs, I think if Phillips dead, and let's say for argument's sake he was a 5th choice centre-back, just say the season starts tomorrow, Phillips is there, Klopp comes out, says, not that he's going, but just say for argument's sake he's a 5th choice centre-back. I still think he plays a good few games next season in the cups. In Europe, he comes on in games, especially games where you want to pick a strong 11 midweek, but you have a big game against Chelsea or City the weekend, but you don't want to play our strongest because you're saving some of the lads. He's still going to play a lot of football, and judging by what he done last season, he comes in, as I says, in October. There was a lot of games gone in the season already. He's never looked back, and he was man the match probably for half of the games he done, and that wasn't just because he's come in and done well. He was phenomenal. His attitude, his discipline. He was a real Jurgen Klopp type of player, and he was a manager's dream. He just done everything that was asked of him to do. And there was moments last season where WhatsApp was kicking. I had people that were more pessimistic fans, waxing lyrics about how good Nat Phillips was. So it says it all. And look, I would keep him for the sake of £15 million, but I'm not Michael Edwards or Jurgen Klopp, so I trust that the lads
not
make
the club. Yeah, exactly. But great points as always, Daz. Is there anything else? The comments been superb tonight, folks. I was maybe going to stay on just a few more minutes because the comments have been brilliant. If you've got any questions you want to chuck in, just chuck it in the now, and we'll ask. Got a little bit of time before the kick off. Anything else you want to bring up, Daz?
Not really. No. I just think it'll be interesting to see Osasuna tonight. I mean, they've nothing to lose. It's Anfield to be near enough a full house again. So you're seeing they soaked up the pressure yesterday. Bilbao, as you said, Conroy, fair play. I didn't hear many people praising Bilbao, but I thought they were very good and caused us problems. And they just soaked up that pressure.
Once should have scored 2, Daz. They should have scored 2. They missed the absolute sitter. People are not talking about it.
Yeah, and once they weathered that storm of where it was real Liverpool pressure, they did cause a lot of problems second half. So I expect Osasuna to be tough. A lot of people write off the La Liga. It's not as good as it used to be. But you've seen last season, Real done really well in the Champions League, probably better than a lot of us would have thought. Villarreal won the Europa League. So, they've a lot of good teams in there, a lot of experience, and I wouldn't underestimate them. And as I've backed them tonight to score, but us to win 2-1. But it could go either way. But I'm hoping no more injuries. We just need to get through this tonight. And and get goals, get a win. The last one at Anfield, last pre-season, go into the season buzzing, and then it's all eyes now on Saturday. That's where the real deal starts now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate, and I feel like the Liverpool should have scored more yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I thought Liverpool were great. Just feel like you need to give credit to the opposition at times, and I thought they played some good football. And I agree, mate. I think we'll win tonight, and it'll be a good competition as well. Ironically, I think Bilbao just finished. One of them finished 8th, and one of them finished 7th. It's like that. They were right next to each other in the La Liga table. 10th and 11th. So so it's quite ironic. A lot of the chat, mate, are saying Robbo's and crutches. I'm not sure. Anyone in the comments, give me if that's legit. I don't know if. I'm not sure. I'm kind of getting mixed messages, so I'm not really sure. Kev O'Sullivan, if the other two stay fit, it'd be hard to sell the idea in that. Fair point, mate. I just think with Matip's injury record, or his inability to stay fit, for me, yeah, I thought Matip would have been away this summer, so Matip might shock us all this season and stay fit.
Hopefully,
I love that. That's the best comment of the night. Well done, mate. That's super. We all know that. You're a joker, mate. I like that. Midnight Toker is a joker.
Kev O'Sullivan throws in there tonight is because of the passing of Michael Robinson, as far as I know. So that could be why they're playing again tonight. I wasn't aware of that, Kev. So well done there on the stats. That's a great shout in, yeah. Because I was a little bit baffled as to why it was a friendly yes team today, but I suppose it's all entertainment for us. It's more we see a Liverpool, so why not?
Sorry, mate. I'm just saying it's legit with protected book. Listen, I was not can't confirm, as Kevin says, non-official been announced to Robbo yet. So just some of the comments, the last couple of comments are very funny. We'll just have to hang fire on that, folks, now. But what was the last thing I was going to say just before we finish up? That is, I think because we're doing these all season, we'll start to do, I don't know if you mind, we'll do like a question each time. So just to kind of change it, right? So I'll do one to you this, right? So just to kind of, so the viewers and that can kind of build a bit of a personality and stuff, right? And a bit more about us, kind of not football related. So just quick, right? So if you had to just, what's your favourite film, Daz, or one of your favourite films? One of your favourite films?
Oh, one of my favourite films would be The Fugitive. One of the really good films.
Harrison Ford, absolute shout, mate.
Really good film. Look,
Tommy Lee Jones,
yeah. Obviously, like some of the Quentin Tarantino films as well, your Casino, your Goodfellas. But like, I'm very, when it comes to films, me and my missus argue about this all the time. I'm a bit weird when it comes to films, because it doesn't mean like I love every Quentin Tarantino film. There'll be somewhere I'm not, and I do like. The Fugitive is one of my best. It just came to my head. Yeah,
we'll go with that, mate, because I'm a massive Tarantino fan. So we'll do that. We'll save more for next time. For me, it's not my question this week, because that's too hard a question for me. I've got too many, mate. I'm a bit of a film fanatic. So no, I just wanted to end it with that, kind of build it a bit. But some of those shouts are absolutely great, especially Goodfellas and obviously Django Unchained and Pulp Fiction. I've literally got a Tarantino picture behind me. I've got two. Yeah, Casino's great, very underrated. No, but that's great, guys. But genuinely, just last from Kev here, he's just giving a bit of info about Michael Robinson. Thanks very much, mate. Was an Irish international and ex-Osasuna player and brilliant Spanish pundit, a very good player for Republic of Ireland under.
Owen Hand, before
Owen Hand,
Owen Hand. And I knew that Michael Robinson did represent Ireland, and I thought, had he any affiliation to Osasuna, he must have, because Kev put it in the chapter. I wasn't aware of that, Kev, so fair play to you. But I knew he was an unbelievable Spanish pundit, fluent Spanish, and when his passing away happened, I think it was some stage, was it last year, the start of this year sometime. There was a lot on social media, even on the Irish news, heard about it. With his condolences. So that's sad to see, and it's great that they've organised this tonight in honour of Michael Robinson. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's great. Just to comment, the predictive book there, we're not really sure with the Robbo thing, but no, great, Kev. Thanks for that insight. That's brilliant. Cheers, just Kieran B's adding to the film. I like Guy Ritchie films, Snatch, Lock, Stock. Love Braveheart. Thanks, mate. I love Braveheart as well. Yeah, no, great. Shawshank, Goodfellas, all great shouts.
Oh, brilliant. Snatch is a really good film, man.
Yeah. No, it is. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant. Steve Graham, talk about Liverpool. Scouser, Stephen Graham, Liverpool fan. Yeah. What an actor. If you've not seen him in The Irishman yet, watch it. What an actor. Unbelievable.
Yeah, classic. I watched The Irishman. I think it was on Netflix a while back. And it's really good. Has anyone any good Netflix recommendations there?
Not now. No, save it for the next show. We're still on Daytrippers channel. Just one question, just build up a bit, all right? But folks, honestly, No, I know, mate. But Kev, just the final comment who's adding, remember Michael Robinson playing for us, brilliant player in his day. Is he? Yeah, brilliant. Sorry guys, but superb. Thanks for that. Thanks for the comments again. Superb, buzzing for it. If you haven't, give the channel a subscribe and a like the video if you can, folks. And as I say, me, Daz and Chris will be on the countdown to kick off all season, hoping to build the show up, and obviously it's a great channel, the Daytrippers, who've given us this opportunity. So we just want to crack on and really build up the community. So as I say,
and the Red Sea podcast are on
after
at 9.
Yeah, so and got to check them out. They'll be superb. So the kind of we've got the pre-match and then the aftermath show, superb. So honestly, folks, really appreciate the comments. Superb as always, and yeah, brilliant. Daz, do you want to take it away? You want to finish? Anything you want to add?
No, all's good. Good day, busy. So I'm looking forward to this now, tuning in to yet again watching Liverpool, but I can't help just be so more excited for the weekend's game. Finally, pre-season's over. We're getting closer to the end of this silly season, as I call it, with transfer speculations. I just can't wait for us to do that last bit of business that I think we're going to do. And yeah, just roll on Saturday now. Hope you all have enjoyed the rest of your week. Stay safe. And I don't know what two was on Saturday. It might be myself, yeah. Or between there'll be 2 out of 3 of us. As
well, hopefully, or it's just going to be me reading comments. But no, I think we'll be able to work it out.
Absolutely. Right, so thanks for everyone for tuning in, comment, and remember to like and subscribe as well.
Thanks, folks. Take care. Bye bye.